Hello, this is Jason, and this is podcast number 3. And my father is still an abusive pedophile and rapist. How are you doing today? This is live on Facebook, and this is video, and I intend on recording the audio and putting these files online on Dropbox and on YouTube. Let me have a quick sip of this tea. All right. Well, this week's podcast should be about 30 minutes long. There was no podcast last week. There just wasn't enough new stuff that I wanted to talk about, so I figured put it off another week, and there'll be more stuff to talk about, and that is exactly what happened. First thing I want to mention is the litigation against my father. I never thought that I would sue my father for anything ever, but since he has attacked me innumerable times and has not stopped, I had no choice. And my mom actually thought that the first thing I should do is file a lawsuit against him and file it and sue him because of the infection that he gave me. Because she felt that that was the most egregious thing, that was the most troublesome thing, the thing that people would be able to testify about and that I'd be able to prove and that he would lose. And she thought that that would be sort of a way to get other people to testify about this terrible thing that he did. And then their testimonies could also potentially be used for other litigation. So this week, a few days ago, I went down to the courthouse and I had already filed the first lawsuit. And so I got the paperwork back for it regarding, and it's purely about the infection. And just so you know, when I stayed at his house a few years ago, he infected me with parasitic worms while I was sleeping through my nose. And my mother thought that he wanted to do this to me and to her, but mainly to me because he wanted to have me find a cure or a treatment, because his brother did it to him and it caused him health problems. But his brother did it to him in revenge because he blinded him in the eye with a laser. So he's still alive, my uncle. He's actually younger than my father. And same thing with his wife. And so I expect them to testify about this. And my father is a twisted psychopath and a pedophile and a rapist and an addict, an alcoholic with a grocery list of problems, mental problems. So in part, he wanted a cure and treatment, but in a part too, he wants people to pity him and feel like, yeah, he did this terrible thing because it happened to him. So there's really no telling what's going to happen if I have to subpoena my uncle and my aunt and get them on stage or, in the chair there in the court. But I don't think they're going to lie. My uncle is a respected combat veteran with a Purple Heart and a Silver Star, and his wife is also a respected individual in the community. And they're not going to be my only witnesses, but they're definitely people that know all about what happened. And I don't really care what my father's motive is, what his point was. But what these stupid things do is they cause these little eye bags. So I shouldn't be looking like this. This is artificial from what my father did up here too. And this white crap that comes right here, this and that, also from those damn worms. He actually told me when I was a kid that I was going to need to buy tissues that didn't have any bleach or dyes in them so I could wipe this crap out of my eyes every single day. And my mom didn't know what to say, and she said, well, why don't we get them now? And he said, well, we don't need them now. And it turned out that he had this stuff secretly, and he was hiding it from my mom. Several things to treat his infection. He was doing it in secret, and she had no idea, even before she met him. And he said that he tricked her into marrying her, and that he had a couple of different health problems that he concealed when they got married. But this was a terrible thing to do to me, and I'm not letting it go. And so that's why I'm suing him. And the sheriff is serving him. And then the other terrible thing, out of the second one I'm suing him for out of many, is like I said before, how he wanted to. Okay, it's hard for anybody to relate to this, but and I'm going to go tell the police and make another report, which isn't easy because I know that they want cut and dry cases. They want weapons they've seen before, and this might sound pie in the sky to them or something outrageous. I'm not sure how they're going to process it, but I'm stoked that I filed both both lawsuits and several police reports, but I got to make one more police report. And I'm just wondering if my mom already said something to these police because they live by my house. They're the closest ones to my childhood house in Rancho, San Diego, which is part of El Cajon. The sheriff's station out there, they very well may have heard something long ago from my mom or somebody about what this guy's plans were to harm me because he had so many of them and he talked about them so often. It was pretty ashamed and egregious. It's pretty pathetic, too, that the Army could draft this idiot and let him go and cause havoc in his family. Pretty sure he did something to my daughter, and I know he did what he did to me and my mom. It's just unfathomable. Not to mention his one brother and possibly his other siblings. My aunt told me, and she said a real playful, messing around kind of way about what he did to her. It's a shame that a disgusting, pitiful, obese, alcoholic, addict, moron, college dropout, dumb fuck, a blind, obese, bald, dipshit that damaged my mom's rectum, raping her in the ass like she called it and hated it, gets to live right now in my childhood house. Saying, oh, maybe he'll get a reverse mortgage after promising it to me to take care of myself after he damaged my rectum. And I've got light incontinence because of it that I haven't even been able to manage or try to manage since I was brainwashed to not even think about it until 2024. So now I'm picking up pieces and talking to old friends, old family members, these people and that people, and seeing how people are acting and have acted. And it's pretty pitiful. It's pretty pathetic. Christians are a gigantic letdown. It's a shame that people are Christians at all if this is how they act. Nobody wants to deal with Christians that are terrible, terrible people. And my dad said he thought that I was going to have to take down the army and take down the church to get justice and to bring him to justice because he's using military weapons that he's not supposed to have or use, certainly not on civilians or me or my family. And, he twisted scriptures around to say things like, children, obey your parents in the Lord means that I've got to obey him throughout my entire life, that I can never, ever stop because I'm always his child. Just absurd things like that. And my mom said that he was messed up in the head and that he doesn't understand the Bible and should study it and go to Bible studies or get a degree in Bible or something because he's just twisting the scriptures to his own liking. It's sick. This ugly fucking loser does not deserve my time, my attention, but he thinks he does. And his whole entire life, he's forced his goddamn self on me every single way possible, whether it's keeping an eye on me from coaching some soccer team or keeping me under his thumb in the house or not letting me go out and do things or, fat shaming me or feeding me too much. Whatever, there's a grocery list of grievances that I have against this moron. Got marks all over my body from this goddamn laser he has. And my grandpa warned me about him because they did the same kind of thing to him too. So I'm not afraid of the truth. This podcast is almost totally unprepared because I have nothing to hide and this is just all about facts. the terrible things that happened to me and what I'm doing about it. So it's a shame that I didn't have a chance to grow up being honest about this, being the victim that I am. But my father wanted to live a life as a different person and have people give him respect that he did not deserve. So he brainwashed me and controlled my mom. My mom was afraid that he'd go rape somebody else. And so she had this terrible feeling that she had to stay with him, not just because of her Christian duty with God, because she was a devout, conservative, Bible-believing Christian, but also because she was literally afraid that he would go rape other people. And he said as much, too. And he said as much to me, too. He said that if they ever got divorced, he's trying to scare me and say that her next husband will rape me worse and rape me more and rape her more, and he would be much worse. He lied to me to try to get me to say I wanted them to stay together, and I didn't. And I just wanted my mom to do its best and, yeah, go to the police and leave him and all those things. That's what I wanted. But I wasn't allowed to say it or to speak up or tell the truth because my dad just wanted to control me, and he could. Some of you people are my old Facebook friends from a long time ago, and you know my father, and you're just sounds exactly like him, and you're afraid of him, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you don't, but it's a shame that this moron has said that he's not ever going to leave me alone, that since he raped me, and since he's afraid of going to prison and getting raped, because he thinks that's what happens to pedophiles in prison, he said, he's going to follow me around and harm me and use all these weird weapons to try to shut me up and distract me and keep me poor and looking like I have no integrity and like I'm an idiot and a liar and a drug addict and whatever else. And that's basically what he is. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't even drink alcohol anymore. The last time I drank booze was many months ago. I had a little bit of organic red wine when I lived in Portland, I think it was the last time. I don't even know if I've had any here in San Diego since I've been living here for the last year. Oh, okay, I did. I had one bottle of organic wine, I remember. Maybe two. Yeah, I think I've had two. Yeah, I'm just not a big drinker. I don't mind a glass of wine, but I don't think alcohol is real good for me. And I'm certainly not an alcoholic or a drug addict. But everybody wondered how I was going to turn out since my father was such a piece of shit. And he's harmed me from head to toe with his stupid weapons, laser weapons, and then zapping me with a wave weapon, and then with these stupid words that he sticks in my head, just like he did to my mom. Yeah, I went and saw my doctor a couple days ago, and I had to tell him about this nonsense because my father said that the same medicine for schizophrenia would take away his words out of my head, that he's using a weapon to stick there. And I think people should take heed of what I'm saying, because if this idiot has this military weapon and he's using it on me, then somebody else has it and they're using it on somebody else somewhere. I'm not sure what or where, but he's not that smart. He didn't make the weapon. He's an end user, and he bought it, and he's using it. And the laser pen, I think he stole from his dad, and I don't know if he's replaced that or gotten a new one of those. But it wasn't just a civilian laser pen like anybody's seen. It's one that causes internal damage. Same thing with this wave weapon that he uses to zap me and hurt me. I get body pains from head to toe, fleeting for just anywhere from a few seconds to a couple minutes. And he's already told me years and years ago about all the different stupid goddamn metaphors, the messages he's trying to send me with all of these stupid fucking pains that he sends me. So, and his buzzword is how. That's what this goddamn fat, ugly loser, this bespeckled, beer-bellied shit stain does, is he hurts me with his goddamn weapons. And then he says, how? Because he wants me to prove it. He doesn't want me to just suffer and feel pain and know it's him, like he already said, But he wants to mock me that I might not know his goddamn weapons inside and out, like he doesn't either. He's just a fucking end user. And like maybe he's just so goddamn stupid and his brain is riddled with fucking dementia since he's been a psychopath his whole life that maybe he literally forgot. He's too fucking stupid to remember his goddamn words to me about all his weapons and shit he was going to hurt me with. That's a possibility too. It's hard when somebody's a worthless piece of shit like my father, Lindsay Rex Gastrich, 1558 Fairglen Road, El Cajon, California, 92019, 619-252-1353. Born on September 20th, 1948. It's hard to know when someone's a worthless sack of dog shit like him. You know exactly what his problem is at all times. But my mom used to say he acts like a fifth grader, and that really hasn't changed. The stupid goddamn shit he puts in my head with the words and the sounds is absolutely moronic, abusive bullshit. Everybody in his family should be ashamed. Everybody in his church should be ashamed. And he's an embarrassment to every goddamn living being on the face of the fucking earth. And my mom was worried that his bullshit might make me lose faith in God. And she was right, because I don't believe in the same God. In fact, I know that God is non-existent, AWOL, doesn't exist, 100% bullshit. The Christian God is fucking nonsense. And I'll look you in the goddamn eye and say so any day of the fucking week. I've earned a PhD in Bible. I went to Liberty Baptist Theological Seminary in Lynchburg, Virginia. I made the dean's list. I got a 4.0. And then Jerry Falwell handed me my diploma. And my father said, you know, if you go down this path of education and get highly educated and know what you're talking about and then say Christianity's not true, Jesus isn't God, this is counterproductive, this is nonsense, this is false, this is a lie, that you'll be respected and people will follow and stop believing lies. And he was absolutely wrong. Every single goddamn Christian I know doesn't give a flying fuck about the truth, about me, about anything I say. They want their tribal bullshit until the day they die. They want to be fat. They want a fucking ugly, fat fucking kid. They want to brainwash that stupid sack of shit. And they want to all do their goddamn circle jerk in their fucking church. It's really, really sad bullshit. But I guess I should have known, you know, because I just grew up going to Christian schools because I was forced to. And I was with a whole bunch of other kids that were just sheep forced to do stupid shit too. So it's not like they are anybody special. They're just goddamn kids that had to go to a Christian school and then figured when they got older, it'd be easier to not tell the truth and not throw this bullshit yoke off of me and stand up because my parents believe it. These people believe it. Whatever. What benefit is there in saying I don't believe it? So they just never ever say it. Or they're just stupid. I don't know what to tell you. But Jesus isn't God. Jesus is not alive. The Bible is a load of shit. If you put another country ahead of yours, you deserve what you get. God doesn't have any fucking pronouns. Get it right, you weird motherfuckers. I'm sick of your goddamn cult. It's not getting you anywhere. It harbors pedophiles and rapists. It enables shit stains and psychopaths. I don't even really want to talk about other religions. Christianity is such shit that people need to stop practicing it and give up. Just give up. You're a pitiful example of Jesus. Your 21st century rendition of American Christianity is pitiful. Your capitalistic, greedy, fat, ugly, fucking sugar-eating bullshit is nothing at all, even remotely like Jesus would be, okay? Just fucking give up and shut the fuck up. Don't fuck up your kids anymore. Just leave the goddamn church and just say, I was wrong. It's not true. It's counterproductive. I'm not staying in this fucking cult just to keep my kid off of needle drugs or just so that I make sure my fucking kid's not gay. That's pitiful. See, I was a Christian to try to find the truth. It was a stepping stone. It was a path. It wasn't the end, God damn it. You think when I was 7 years old, I chose this path to be on until I died? You got to be a fucking moron to continue believing what you believe when you're 7 years old in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Give me a goddamn break. And it's a shame that so many people want to put Christianity in the category of, it's not that bad. Because, oh, fuck, it is bad. It is the goddamn worst. These prideful losers. God's not listening to them. God's not talking to them. No fucking way. And I appreciate it that God is silent. God doesn't need to talk to anybody. And I appreciate it that God doesn't have any pronouns. God doesn't need any pronouns. So if I could be afraid, I'd be afraid for you. I'm ready to meet God face to face. I'm ready to say, what the fuck, God? Why'd you give me a piece of goddamn garbage like Lindsay Rex Gastrich is my father that fucking raped me and my mother and lied about it to everybody and hid in the church? I'm ready to ask God that to his fucking face any goddamn day. And I apologize for saying his, because God is not a man. See, that's my old indoctrination coming out. But all you got to do is say God every single time, and then you don't have to use a pronoun. No matter how angry you get, no matter how many times you want to lie or tell the truth. The God that you don't know doesn't have a penis. The God that you don't know that was alive before men and women does not identify as a man, you fucking weirdo. Now, fuck your cult, fuck your goddamn religious book. It just makes you a stupid sack of dumb dog shit, and it enables fucking losers like my goddamn father to rape poor, innocent, educated women until they bleed out their fucking asshole and they die. So if that's the religion you want for everybody, then by all means, keep being in it and spreading it. But that's what it is, and that's what you got. You're a pretty big goddamn idiot if you think a 2,000-year-old book from Israel, from sheep herders, is from God. I just don't even know what to say to you if that's what you think. So I'm going to read off some of the titles of some of my poems that I'm going to publish in my next book. I've written a total of 3,135 poems. And like a lot of the things that my father tried to micromanage, he actually mentioned this in writing poems. This was one outlet that he thought that I could use and would use to explain his depravity and everything else. So Seeing Summer is going to be my 42nd poetry book. I've already written 41 books of poems. And this one, it already has over 40 poems. And I'm thinking it might have around 55. I never pick an exact number. It has 44 right now. My last two poetry books have had 46. But I don't think I'm going to publish this one for at least another week or two. Asshole. This time. Better. Rest assured. Thanks, Coach Heathcock. One of the orange-black types. Pardon me. Worthless words, dutifully and gladly. Shh. This is my poem, you cunt nigger. Go on, go away. I can give him lung cancer, quote unquote. Shit-stained psychopath. Reality. Laughing my ass off at Lindsay Rex Gastrich. Stop hurting my hip. Stop making my nose run. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Don't prick my side, cunt. Don't bother my neck, bitch. Listen, Lindsay loser Gastrich. Don't worry about how, motherfucker. Shut up. Clean clothes. Me, myself, and I, over and over. On September 20th, 1948, a fool was born. To my father, so broken record. I hate you. Premeditated. My timing, I'm God, selfish psychopath 101. Continued abuse. I have a better idea. My puke-worthy papa. Lindsay, Rexford, Rex, Gastrich, keyword dense. Can't say. Dog shit. Pedophile, rapist, sad but true. Diabolical. 5.7 bullshit. Me too. 'Cause I want more. Homeless people. Roll stones. Why I like ugly ducklings. And untitled. So those are the first 44 poems in my next book. And like I said, I anticipate publishing it in June, probably in at least a week or two, sometime in June, before summer. So that means by June 20th. So those are the main things that I wanted to talk about in this podcast. And thanks for listening. Do something. Be somebody. Be honest. You don't have to be an idiot. You don't have to be the same person that you were when you were a child. The Bible calls people children as if that's a good thing, but it's not. Children are naive. They trust the wrong people. They're uneducated. It's like sheep. Sheep is not a good word to be called either. I told some pastor the other day, don't blame God for the way you are. You should really take credit yourself for the way you are. Because Christians tend to do that. They tend to give God credit and glory for the way they are. And I think that you can take credit for the way you are. Don't blame God and be better. This Christian nationalism is sick. It's like cold Catholicism. It's not spirit-led. It's not feeling. It's not loving. It's bullshit. It feels dutiful and nonsensical. And I don't believe at all that Christianity is making a comeback or religion is making a comeback. And in fact, I won't let it. Fuck you if you think that it is. I'll spend every single last minute and bit of energy of mine telling the truth about not just my experience, but about the Bible and about Christians and about everything. If you're a Christian and want to debate, I'd be happy to debate you. I've been in 20 formal debates with people, mostly unbelievers. Some, back when I was a Christian, ex-pastors, Eddie Tabash, Doug Kruger, and I talked to Dan Barker from the Freedom from Religion Foundation and James Randi, RIP. So if you ever want to put your money where your mouth is, let's do it. Let's debate. Also, stop eating meat. I'm a vegetarian and your meat eating highly offends me.